That's it. Then you enter what job you're looking for there.
Electrician.
This is Peter. Recently, he got help going on the internet for the first time to look for a new job.
Okay, then you just hit search and...
In the past, Peter's gotten work through people he knew, but he heard there were more jobs online.
There we go.
These are all for me?
Uh-huh.
Really?
He had no idea just how many.
I can't believe it. This one looks good.
Peter is thinking the internet might be for him after all.
And this is just one website.
Wow. Why didn't I do this sooner?
See what the internet can help you do at everyoneon.org or call 1-855-387-9166 to find a free training class near you. Brought to you by Connect to Compete and the Ad Council.
Did you know that there are greater than 1,500 kids in Palm Beach County alleged to be victims of abuse, neglect, or abandonment?
Fewer than 80% of those children are afforded a guardian ad litem.
That leaves these children with no voice in the court system.
Guardians ad litem represent the best interest of children involved in abuse cases.
We are information gatherers, advocates, and monitors who visit the child, review relevant records, interview persons involved in the child's life, and submit best interest recommendations to the court.
Without a guardian, these children are more likely to languish in foster care.
It is time for you to speak up for our county's most vulnerable. Call 561-355-6224 or visit www.galpbc.org for more information. You can make a difference in a child's life.
This is Talk 1470.
Talk 1470.
WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Welcome to The Gift of Life with Gregg. I'm your host, Gregg Francis, and I'm joined today by my co-hosts, Barry Kaplan and Leora Lieberman. We save lives, plain and simple. Have you known someone stricken with leukemia? Has a family member of yours suffered from lymphoma? Then turn up your dial. This show is for you. We are the gift providing a second life. We are the gift of life. Since 1999, we've saved over 2,700 lives. For many patients with blood cancer, bone marrow donation is often their last hope, and that's where we come in. We try hard at what we do, but we will never be satisfied until we can say, one day, we found a match anytime, anywhere, for anyone. That's the Gift of Life way. So now we have the scissors, we've opened the box, and now it's time to unwrap the gift of life. Hello everyone, and welcome to our 5th show. I can't believe that we made it through 5 already. Can you believe that it's almost the middle of August?
I can't. The summer went by so fast.
And where did this summer go? It flew past the FIFA World Cup tournament, past and present cable dilemmas, through campus Hillel stories. You know, BK, it's very easy to mix up the first-round draft pick that played for the New York Giants and the head of the Hillel house.
It's an easy mistake, Greg.
It's okay.
Easy to know, 6'2" and 5'1". It's easy to get them mixed up.
It's okay. We all make mistakes. It's okay.
But nonetheless, it really went by so fast. But we're so glad you listeners chose to spend these past afternoons with us. For those who have been our supporters these past few weeks, welcome back again. And we want to thank you for all that you've done to spread awareness and transpire action for our show and for our cause. And for those lucky people who are turning in for the first time, we're so glad that you could join us for Gift of Life with Gregg. We broadcast live from Boca Raton, Florida, every Tuesday from 4 to 5 p.m. here on WWNN 1470. Now, we just heard before going on the show, on the other side of the glass from Freddie, that we're the #1 ranked show on WWNN.
Woo!
After only 5 weeks, I'm proud of all our listeners, I'm proud of all our support, and let's keep it going. You know, it's tough to get to #1, but it's even tougher staying at #1.
And we got this.
We got this. So today's show is going to be as cool as ice. we have extremely talented Stanley Cup winning athlete Mr. Bobby Nystrom from the New York Islanders on our show today.
Woo!
He'll be joining us after our first break, so make sure that you stay tuned to hear this amazing athlete share his stories with us and how he put Long Island hockey on the map. For those of you who tuned in last week, for those of you who called in, or for those of you who may have donated to our donor circle called the show, easy enough, we really, really thank you. All donations are directly allocated towards Sammy, the little girl that we are desperately trying to save. And our listening audience, we have to save her. She needs our help. She's such a cute little girl. Sammy has a fatal illness called Fanconi anemia. And with our help, and obviously with your help, we could find her the life-saving bone marrow match she desperately needs. These past few weeks, we've seen how wonderful she is, but we've also seen firsthand how dire her situation is. And thank you, listeners, for taking part in life-saving actions to save Sammy's life. There's still a job to be done, so let's continue this wonderful work and donate. So, people, let's get the party started.
Woo!
We can do better than that. We have a great show for everyone today, especially those sports fans out there. If you're joining us for the first time, I'm Gregg Francis, and welcome to our show. We encourage our listeners to call in any time at 1-888-565-1470. Again, it's 1-888-565-1470. If you're inspired by what we do, if we motivate you to celebrate life, call in. We want to hear it. So please call into our show today, along with my co-host L Squared Leora Lieberman.
Hey!
And BK Barry Kaplan.
Hey there.
I love that voice. We're here to spread awareness about the Gift of Life Bone Marrow Foundation, a life-saving nonprofit that gives patients like Sammy a second chance at life. We want to remind everyone of how special life is and how every day of health and happiness is a true gift of life. So if you want to tell us what makes your gift of life special, please call into our show. And as for the people that have been listening, you know, before I go any further, I have to thank my own gifts of life. People who make me smile every day and appreciate that I'm on this earth. So, to undoubtedly my biggest fan, my mom Katie, who's probably in transit between Lake Worth and Boynton Beach. Mom, I love you. We made it through 5. We didn't know if we were going to make it through one show, but as you heard before, we're the #1 show. To my biggest Maryland fan, Grandma Margie, I hope you love this one as much as the other 4. And to my true gifts of life, my 2 sons, Nick and Patrick, who are 11 and 7. Boys, I'm so happy that you're back from Maryland, and I'm happy that you were able to watch me go bowling last night. I love that you're back in town. We got to play soccer. I also want to take a second to make a heartfelt shout out to my friend Ira. Ira, I hope you're feeling great today, buddy. You're going to get better real soon, and we're going to go out and get a bite to eat. Before I go further, I want to say a special hello and thank you to my friends first and my co-host second, Barry Kaplan, BK, and L Squared, Leora Lieberman.
Hey, it's Barry K. Good to be here today with everyone. I'm a recent graduate from Skidmore College. I interned for 2 summers. That's correct, right, Greg?
2 summers, yeah, great job.
Two fun summers at the Gift of Life. And then after I graduated in December, Greg decided to bring me on full-time. So I'm really enjoying that. I work in the business development department. And I'd like to give a shout out to, I know everyone's talking about this, but Robin Williams. He's up there looking down on us, making us laugh, indefinitely. So I want to just say that and put that out there.
No, great point. And Barry not only works in business development department, but I think we created some new departments for him along the way. but again, I certainly echo your Robin Williams sentiment. A great comedian and a great loss.
I agree. Hi, I'm Leora, and I'm really excited for the show today. As Barry was saying, he went to Skidmore, and I went to University of Florida, and I feel very lucky. I would consider it one of my gifts of life that I get to go back for, another year and another chance to get another great education at UF, and I'm really excited about that. And I was also very thankful this summer. I know it's coming to a close, like Gregg said, but I was very thankful to be at the Gift of Life. I learned so much, and even though I want to go into medicine, I learned so much about business and running an organization that I would have never learned anywhere else, and I want to reiterate just how thankful I am for that. So thank you, Gregg, thank you, Barry, for showing me a great time this summer, and I'll miss you guys a lot.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
You're very welcome. And as I do every show, Bill and Myra, who are Leora's parents, I'm going to ask you to try to convince her to take a gap year so she could stay with us and help our organization grow and our radio station grow. But sincerely, Leora, thank you for everything. I know that you've been making the trip back and forth from Gainesville to visit families, to work on scripts, and from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of Barry's heart, it's truly appreciated. So it's good to have you both here. We're having a lot of fun with the show. It's been our 5th week, and you're familiar with how we roll here. Gift of Life started all with the heroic work of our founder, Jay Feinberg. And before we go any further, it's a special day for Jay. Before we spoke about his transplant anniversary, and we didn't get our singing down that well, but today's Jay's birthday, so Barry and Leora, you want to give it another crack?
Let's do it. 3, 2, 1.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Jay.
Happy birthday, Jay. I want you to live another 100 happy, healthy years, and congratulations for making this organization great along with your family. You've done a lot of phenomenal things, and I look forward to working with you for the next 40 years to do a lot more phenomenal things. Barry, would you like to tell our audience briefly about the genesis of Gift of Life?
I'd love to. So it all started one day about 25 years ago, and what happened after that one day basically culminated into the growing and beginning of Gift of Life, and now we're here celebrating Jay's birthday. So I'm going to tell you guys how that actually happened. 25 years ago, our founder, Jay Feinberg, he's about my age, about Leora's age.
About 22.
Exactly, yeah, 22, 23, just got out of college, just got his job, really bright horizon in front of him. He woke up one morning not feeling very well. He thought he had the flu. So he jumped in his car, got over to the doctor, and did some tests. And the doctor came back, and he sat Jay down, and he said, Jay, listen, you have leukemia. You need to start preparing your bucket list.
Wow.
Difficult pill to swallow. He took it back. He took that information back home to his parents, his mother and father, Jack and Arlene, and he told them what the doctor had told him. And after they heard what the doctor said to Jay, that he has to start preparing his bucket list, they would not take that as an answer. They were ready to fight for Jay, and they were ready to put it all on the line for Jay. And so they went to the doctor and said, what can we do? There has to be another option. And the doctor says, there is another option. It's very slim chance that it'll work, though. It's called a bone marrow transplant. The problem with Jay is that he was an Ashkenazi Jew of Eastern European descent, and at the time in the registry there was a very, very low representation of Eastern Europeans in the worldwide registry, and because bone marrow typing is inherited, it became doubly as difficult to find Jay a match and hopefully cure him his leukemia. Well, 60,000 donors later, 250 drives later, the last drive, the last person to register, wouldn't you know it, becomes Jay's match. It sounds contrived. I cannot make this up, people. It is absolutely the case. I think it's a miracle. I don't know. What do you guys?
I think it... Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I think it's the coincidences of all coincidences. I love energy. I think, what you put out there comes back. And I think when you work really, really hard and you really, really care about something, and this was a family trying to save someone's life, I think the energy you put out there, the energy you get back. And I think it was all meant to happen. And I think good things come back to good people.
And you know, to kind of leapfrog off of that, when Jay was cured and found his match, he sat down and he looked at all the other transplants that they were able to find for other people who were sick. And they discovered, him and his parents, that they had really helped a lot of people. And they said, wait a minute, we can take this and we can keep going with it. Let's do that. And that's how Friends of Jay, the grassroots effort that found Jay a match, turned into Gift of Life. And now today, we're one of the biggest bone marrow registries in the world.
Wow.
That's the truth. And what charms me about this story, and we mentioned it quite a bit, is the authenticity of people. Jay's family were searching for a match for Jay, but they were so elated when a drive that was held on Jay's behalf saved another individual that was suffering from blood cancer. So when Leora, I echo your sentiment, good things deserve to happen to good people. They were selfless. Again, they were trying to find a match for Jay, as anybody would to try to save their child. What we're trying to do right now with Sammy, what Sammy's parents are trying to do. As a byproduct of all of their hard work, so many lives were saved. And as Barry mentioned before, we're one of the biggest bone marrow registries in the world, and we saved over 2,700, and this number's starting to get stale. It's really closer to 2,800. So congratulations. And not to mention that we saved over 2,800 lives. We're also the #1 bone marrow transplant radio show in the world. And if you're listening at Gift of Life on 800 Yamato Road, I want a big round of applause. I really want to. It's phenomenal. We find out on this radio show, we find out that we're #1 bone marrow transplant radio show.
It just keeps coming.
Who would have thunk this after 5 weeks?
Woohoo!
It's a miracle. You see, what's really special about Jay's story, and what's really important for all you listeners to feel inspired by, is that one person, one group of people, could really make a huge difference in the world. And that difference being saving lives, and I don't know if there's anything more important than that. And today, as we mentioned before, we're met with another situation, and it's unfortunately a very dire one, where another person needs our help, and her name is Sammy. 25 years from now, August 12th, so that would be August 12th, 2039, if my math is correct.
Correct.
We want Sammy to have what Jay had and come on this show and talk about how her story started. We want to be on this show 25 years from now. We want her to be the guest and to show that she's alive and doing great things in this world. It started with us, it started with the show, it started with you, and it continues with us, it continues with the listeners. Right here, right now, if you'd like to help save Sammy's life, please take the leap of hope that Jay's family did. Barry, Leora, do you want to tell the audience how they could donate to Sammy?
Absolutely, Greg. I'll go ahead and give you 3 options. You can go online and visit our donor circle. It's www.giftoflife.org/DC/the show. I'll say that again for those of you getting your pens and pencils out. www.giftoflife.org/DC/the show.
And what about those that are not tech savvy or that are listening in their car that may want to just
Absolutely.
The number?
Absolutely. Give us a call, 1-800-9-MARROW. 1-800-9-MARROW. Call us up, ask for Joel or Anita. They'll be happy to help you and show you the ropes and get you started with your contribution. And then for those who like the snail mail, well, you can mail your check or your any donation at all to the office at 800 Yamato Road, Suite 101 in Boca Raton, Florida. Zip code is 33431.
And just if you could put on the show.
Yeah, please make it whatever you decide to send. Please put under the attention the show.
And again, for those that are local to the area, come on and visit. We always offer every show, and a few people actually took us up on that. So please come to our office at 800 Yamato Road. You could give us a call. We're back in the office, and we'll certainly set up a tour. We want you to be vested in what we do, and I think the most authentic way is to take an active experience and learning about it. So thanks, BK. We're really determined to save Sammy's life, and every donation you make, no matter how large, no matter how small, makes an inordinate impact on Sammy's future. This past week, we met Sammy's family firsthand. Leora, I'd like you to tell the audience a little bit more about Sammy and what a great trip we had.
We did. It was an awesome trip, and for those listeners who have tuned in before for the past few weeks, you've heard us talk every week about this little beautiful girl named Sammy, and from our hearts, from my hearts, I know especially from Sammy's family's hearts, because we've been in contact with them every day. We thank you all for your support, and I've received so many messages of support from my family and from my friends, people saying, how can I help, and what can I do, and how can I donate, and I'm so thankful for all the response we've gotten, and it really is because of you all, and because of all the contributions to the donor circle, that we're really going to make this happen, and we're going to make this a success, because Sammy needs our help, and we're gonna help her.
Well, Leora, one thing, since we disclosed the Sammy story, we've gotten 80,000 hits to our radio show. So people are out there, you know, really listening and really want to help.
They do, and we thank you all those 80,000 people out there. We thank you for listening, and I know Sammy's family is thankful too. So for those of you who are just tuning in this week, I'll give you a little background of how we got to know Sammy and how we came to start helping her. So after our first show, it was a huge success, and after the advertisements for it were sent out, and after people started, you know, rewatching it online, someone contacted us, and her name is Holly. And Holly is Sammy's aunt, and Holly told us that her niece Sammy was sick, and that not too long ago Sammy's mother noticed that Sammy was maybe, you know, a little bit underweight for her age, and that her hearing was not quite right. And as any parent, you know, you get nervous when even a little thing is off, but when your 6-year-old is having hearing problems and looks to be underweight, you know, you start to get really, really worried.
Well, wasn't she only about 10 pounds heavier than her 18-month-old brother?
Right. Her little brother isn't even crawling yet. He's not even crawling yet.
So cute.
So cute, so unbelievably cute, the brightest blue eyes you've ever seen. And so she only weighs 10 pounds more than a little baby who can't even crawl yet. So that was starting to worry them. So Sammy's mom took her to the doctor, and unfortunately the doctor told Sammy's family that Sammy has something called Fanconi anemia, which is a genetic illness that, you know, affects 1 out of, I think it's 350,000 people, which is
correct,
yeah.
You know, a very, very crazy number if you think about it. It's very, very rare, and unfortunately about 90% of the patients go into bone marrow failure, and unfortunately they'll probably also develop a type of leukemia. So for Sammy, you know, the situation is very dire, and she really, really needs our help. But luckily, you know, the bright side of things is that there is a treatment. There is a treatment, and it's a bone marrow transplant. But unfortunately, her family has looked in the international registries, and thus far, there's no match. And so that's what we're really trying to do for her. We're really trying to find her a match, and it's treatable with your help. So because of Sammy's unique heritage, that's why.
Yeah, it's a good point, Leora. Out of almost 24 million registered bone marrow donors, there's not a match for Sammy right now, and that's why Sammy needs our help. That's why Sammy needs your help. We have thousands of kits on our shelves right here in our Boca headquarters. You know, they're waiting to be tested, they're high availability. The problem is each kit costs $60. And because Gift of Life does not receive any government funding, we rely on people like you. We're not complaining that we don't receive government funding, but the reality is we have to get a job done, and we're going to get the job done. But we're going to rely on you. We're going to ask for our listening audience to be partners, and we're going to ask people that listen to extend the message out to their friends. So we made a promise to Sammy's family that we're going to do whatever we could to make sure that she lives a fruitful life.
And part of doing all that we can is making the family feel comfortable with us, and really getting to know them as people, and getting to know why they celebrate life, and really who they are as people. So that's why we felt it was really important for us to take the trip out there to their home and their community. So last week we took a little road trip to Sammy's house, and we met her grandparents. Hi Doug, hi Barbara. and we met her siblings. Hi, Jace. Hi, Haley. And we met her wonderful parents, Cindy and Junior. And immediately we were welcomed by this little hand waving from the front door. I knew it was Sammy just from afar because that little hand was like this. And I was like, hi, Sammy. And she was so excited. And it was such a wonderful afternoon. I've never seen a little girl so excited for so many fashion shows before. And she did my makeup, and she did my hair, and she did my nails. And if you look at the picture on our donor circle, you can see that pink lipstick that she helped me with, and she was so great at it. And she was just so full of energy, and it was so beautiful. And this little girl, you know, she's struggling, but we're gonna help her, and it's really a beautiful thing. So
I'm a first-hand witness. This girl is a firecracker, people. I'm telling you, I've never seen more energy in a little 6-year-old girl. She is hilarious. We did fashion shows. We did songs.
We did
concerts,
dances, stamp our feet.
Katy Perry concerts, everything, you name it. I want to tell you everyone how to help. You can come in our office, take a tour. You can run a drive. You can contribute money. Either way, any way you can, please call 1-800-9-MARROW or visit our webpage, www.giftoflife.org. We're going to take a quick commercial break now. When we get back, we have our surprise special guest,
Well,
Mr.
It's not so much a surprise anymore. Mr. Bob Nystrom, who is also Mr. Islander.
Mr. Islander himself.
Mr. Islander himself. So he's going to bring me certainly back down memory lane. We'll be back in a few.
ThrowItBetter.com. Do you need help with your bowling game? Are you taking the right 5-step approach? If you want to become a competitive bowler, even a recreational bowler that's considering joining a league, or a league bowler that's considering joining a tournament, you need to see Vince. He's going to show you how to throw it better. He'll get you the right equipment, he'll show you the right approach, and as a certified coach himself, he'll put you in the best position to succeed. If you're interested, please visit Vince at throwitbetter.com and tell him that Greg sent you. Again, that's www.throwitbetter.com. If you own a business and have the need for commercial insurance, I suggest you call Chris Moore of Brown & Brown Insurance in Fort Lauderdale. Chris has been in the commercial insurance business for over 30 years and can handle any company's need for property, general liability, workers' compensation, and automobile, just to name a few. Brown & Brown, being countrywide and the 5th largest agency in the country, gives Chris the tools he needs to meet all your insurance needs. So call Chris at 954-331-1420. Again, that's 954-331-1420. We want to extend a special thanks to our friends at the Boca West Foundation for all the wonderful work they do for Gift of Life and for all the meaningful service they give to the Boca Raton community. For over 3 years, the Boca West Foundation has generously supported local charities in the Boca Raton area. The Boca West Foundation. It's all about the kids. Are you in the market for a health plan? If so, please visit my good friend Gary at Health Plans Unlimited. No plan is too big or too small. Gary will customize a plan that's affordable and comprehensive, just for you. If you're interested, please visit Gary Goldman, the best in the biz, at www.healthplansunlimited.com. Again, that's www.healthplansunlimited.com. Or you can call Gary Goldman directly on his personal line at 954-303-6676. Again, that's 954-303-6676. And tell him that Greg sent you directly from the Gift of Life. Health Plans Unlimited. We have the health plan for you.
Interested in being part of Mission Possible?
Dun, 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 dun.
On Saturday night, August 9th, at the Blue Martini in Boca Raton, come listen to a donor and recipient's experience and how Gift of Life truly saves lives. Don't miss the opportunity to be part of Boca Chambers Festival Days and get your photo taken with Sean Connery lookalike John Allen, Palm Beach's very own 007 Sean Connery impersonator, and savor premium libations, and culinary delights in only the most covert manner. Please call Jenna at 1-800-9-MARROW. Again, please call Jenna at 1-800-9-MARROW.
Welcome back to The Gift of Life with Gregg, the show that talks about giving and receiving. I'm your co-host, Leora Lieberman, and I'm here with my host, Gregg Francis, and co-host, Barry Kaplan. If you'd like to call into our show, we'd love to hear from you. Please call 888-565-1470. Again, that's 888-565-1470. And now, back to our show.
And we're back with The Gift of Life with Gregg. My name is Barry Kaplan. Hey, it's Barry K. Thanks for joining us today. Gregg, we have a special guest now, don't we?
Yeah, we certainly do. As many of you know, either from the FIFA conversation, that's the World Cup soccer on our first show, or just from knowing me in general, I'm one of the biggest sports fans that you're ever going to meet. As a high school athlete, a college athlete, and a post-college athlete, sports have been a staple of breathing in my life and continues to be every day.
Amen to that, brother.
So then you know me. Then I'm honored to introduce our guest today, Stanley Cup winning athlete, an extremely talented hockey player, and who I'm honored to call a friend, Mr. Bob Nystrom. Bob, you with us?
Bob, you there?
Yes, I am, as a matter of fact.
All right. Hey, it's Gregg. How are you, Bob?
Very good, very good. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. Let me introduce you to your co-hosts, Barry and Leora. Barry, Leora, Bob Nystrom.
Mr. Nystrom, nice to meet you.
How you doing? Please tell me Bob, otherwise I feel old.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today. We're so glad to have you.
Yeah, you know what? It's my pleasure, really. I've known Gregg for a while here, and I was pretty surprised when he said that he hosts a radio show. But no, I'm really thrilled to be on.
Yeah, we're given this gig. It's been 5 weeks, so we're certainly having a great time with this. So again, Bob, thanks for coming on. And how are things going in New York?
I thought maybe we could do this in the winter, and I could do it personally right there at the studio, so I could get down to Florida.
Well, you want to know something? You're always a friend to the show, so if it's an excuse to come down, we can play a round of golf, and you could certainly come in here live.
Yeah, you know, that sounds pretty good.
All right, we're putting it in the books. So where do your travels keep you now? Are you in New York?
Yeah, no, I'm in New York right now, and you know, I've been here for since 1972, and I love it, and I'm really the weather has been absolutely incredible here, so I've been enjoying the beach and you know, doing a little swimming.
All right, I'll see you around in September. We're coming up for a walk. So we have a walk in Long Island on September 14th. But Bob, you mentioned you've been there since '72. So what was it like coming to a relatively new franchise called the Islanders in the suburbs in Long Island?
Well, I'll tell you, the interesting thing is I grew up in a very, very small town. So when they told me that I was drafted by you know, the New York Islanders, the first thing that I thought of was I better buy a gun, because all I had heard about was the crime down in New York City. You know?
Oh, no.
But when I first came down to sign my first contract, which was in June, I was absolutely dumbfounded by how beautiful it was down here. And I actually stayed down here for quite a while with my agent and you know, really got to see Long Island. I spent a lot of time on the beaches down on the South Shore and traveled around. And, you know, I only went home for 2 summers after that. I basically, after that point, I stayed down here for the full year.
No, it's and you know, I'm a Long Islander as well. It's not a bad place to be.
No, that's really true. I mean, for the longest time, I had trouble convincing the people back home that there's actually trees here and farms. But it's a gorgeous place. I'm an avid biker, and I bike on the North Shore of Long Island, and it's absolutely incredible. Some of the houses and I mean, it's just really, really a beautiful spot.
No, and you brought it to us. So let me ask you, before you were drafted or after you were drafted, did you know any guys on the team from junior hockey, from the minors, or were you coming basically solo?
No, certainly I knew everybody, because I watched hockey, and many of the guys that were originally on our team had played somewhere else before they were picked up as free agents, so I knew a lot of them that way. But the only guy that I really knew, and I drove down to New York with him, was Gary Howlett.
Okay.
Yeah, so Gary and I came down together, and we actually roomed together for the first couple of years. And that's about the only guy I knew. I mean, I had played with a lot of different guys, like John Davidson was a guy that I played with, and Danny Gare was another guy that I played with. So then Jimmy Watson, all those guys ended up on different teams. So.
But you had some family down here. I know that JD was a Rangers telecaster for a while as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, John and I played junior together, and he was originally, I think, drafted by St. Louis. So, but then he came to the Rangers, and you know what? He actually stoned us in 1979. So, I'll never forgive him for that.
Bob, I want to take you down memory lane for a second.
That sounds
2 years
good.
later, the Islanders found themselves in Game 6 of their first Stanley Cup final.
4 ties, 7 minutes gone in overtime.
Lauren Henning passed the puck to John Tonelli.
Henning. Pass went on the stick of Tonelli.
And then John Tonelli passed the puck to me.
Coming in with Nystrom. Tonelli to Nystrom.
Bob Nystrom lifted the puck over Pete Peters.
So, Bob, I hope that took you down. I hope that took you down memory lane. I was a 10-year-old boy on the North Shore, remembering that because we had Memorial Day weekend. I think it was a Saturday night.
It was a Saturday afternoon. Yeah.
Saturday. Yeah, I call it anything in the afternoon and night, or like they do in basketball. But so what was it like when you put Long Island hockey on the map?
You know, more than anything else, I think that because you know hockey, it really is a marathon to get into the playoffs, and then to go through all those series and get to the Stanley Cup final. So the first thing that I thought of was, oh my God, thank God this is over. It was just so amazing it was like, I was jumping in the corner and I could see John Tonelli coming from the other side, his sticks flying in the air. and you know what? I knew that it was over and they had no way of coming back, and we owned the Stanley Cup. So it was a great moment.
Wow.
More importantly, I was just so thrilled that I had the opportunity to score that goal, because it's just made such a difference in my life, with people coming up to me all the time and telling me where they were. And according to all the people that were at that game, we must have had 300,000 people in the stands, because everyone said that they were there.
No, it's funny. I can't say that I was one of those 300,000. Where I lived in the North Shore, it was too low to have cable density. The cable density was too low to have cable, so I snuck to went over to a friend's house. And the fun thing, as you know, that I played sports all along my life. We discussed that on the golf course. You guys won 4 cups from 80 to 83, and all a bunch of relatively young guys growing up together. What was the camaraderie like of the fellas winning 4 Stanley Cups? All relatively new to the island.
Well, I have to say that there was 14 guys that were on all 4 cups, so you can understand the type of camaraderie that we had. It's interesting that many of us or many of the guys left Long Island, and we just recently had a whole group of the guys come back. But even though we've been apart for so long, when we're together, it's just like yesterday. It's like we're right there again, because the memories and the friendships and the hard work and the battling and the sacrifice and everything like that. No, we had a great group of guys, and that really lends itself to a successful team.
Yeah, I always believe that some people say that you don't need to get along in the locker room. I'm not a proponent of that. I think if you get along in the locker room, you really fight for each other hard. It makes for a better squad. But
I agree with that. I think that you got to fight for the other guy across the room. That's how it works out.
wholeheartedly agree. I saw you on the commercial for this year's Stanley Cup between the Kings and the Rangers. Are you still involved in the NHL in any capacity? I know certainly as an ambassador.
No, you know what? I actually worked with the Islanders, and they were, really, they treated me so well. But at some point, like I was involved with business, and I really just didn't have the time to commit. I was director of the alumni. I was on the alumni steering committee with the NHL, and at some point in time, you've got to make a decision as to which direction you're going to go. And I decided that I had to focus more on my business, and therefore I severed I didn't sever my relationship. It's just that I just couldn't work with them anymore. But I'm still a huge Islander fan. I support them whenever I can, and really cheer for the team.
Alrighty. So let me ask you, and a couple of people asked me, and I said that I would ask you, who was your favorite rival to play when you were playing with the Islanders?
That's a pretty good question, but I would say though the team that we got most charged up for was definitely the Rangers. It was so great because many families on Long Island were split, where the parents were Ranger fans and the kids were Islander fans. So, needless to say, it didn't matter what happened over the course of the year, except when we played the Rangers. The Islander fans would want us to beat them.
Oh, I know.
I would say the Rangers and another team that we always had real good matches against was Philadelphia.
Those were the two, and I had it scratched down on my notes. I remember the fish flying with the Rangers, and when they came to our house, we had some nice chants for them as well. But it was always a good time. So, Bob, I want to talk about your next generation. As I always open up my show, I always talk about my gifts of life being my sons. And your son Eric followed in your footsteps, and you have to be such a proud pop. How did he decide to play hockey?
Well, it's interesting because originally, as soon as I finished playing, I was assistant coach with Terry Simpson, and so I used to bring Eric down to the rink, but he didn't really enjoy skating, and he really didn't get involved in hockey until a few of his friends signed up, and from that point on, Eric, he definitely enjoyed it, and I would say that for all those guys, and there's many of them now that have made it to the NHL from Long Island, they really have to put the work in because, it's not as if you can go to any rink here, like in the backyard and just practice. They've got to go to practice at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, and, it's a tough task. But Eric, and even now, he works out like an animal. He really does. And so he put in his hard work, and I'm just so happy for him because, he really, really does enjoy the game and, has made a good, really, really good living at it.
It's absolutely fantastic, and I could attest to that being from Long Island. A couple of days it's cold, but the only time you're going to get rink time is 4 or 5 in the morning. I gave you a call on some of your friends. It had to be. I love when my son gets a goal in Little League soccer. So when your son got 4 goals in a game this season, I can't even put that into words.
Well, the funny thing is that on that particular night, Michelle and I had to be out of the house. So we taped the games. Like we DVR them. And, we're coming home from the dinner, and my daughter calls, and so we were really concerned that maybe he got hurt or something, and she said, are you watching the game? And we said, no, we're not. What's going on? She said, oh, I can't tell you. And so Michelle said, tell us, what's going on? And she just said, Eric's got 4 goals. And so we rushed home and we turned it on and we watched the whole thing right then. It was amazing.
How many times did you watch it?
Well, you know what? I watched the goals quite a few times, that's for sure.
that
the rest of the game.
And as important as a great hockey player, he's also a great kid. I know that he's involved in a lot of philanthropies and working with children.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's one of the things that, and all athletes, I think most athletes, let's put it that way, try to do something, And Eric kind of saw what Al Arbor had instilled in me and the rest of the team as far as putting back into your community. So I think he's taken that to heart, and you know, he's constantly calling us about different things that he's going to. And you know what? I think it's a great thing. You know, we're really fortunate to be able to play hockey and, you know, make a good living. And you know what? It's kind of nice to give back to, you know, those people that weren't so fortunate.
You want to know something? I appreciate all the athletes. We're trying to do that on a small step with a radio show, getting our platform out there. As you might have heard before, there's a 6-year-old little girl that has Fanconi anemia. She's cute as a button, and we're doing all that we could to try to find a match for her. So
yeah. You know, it's so hard to believe that, you know, 75% of the people don't have a match. I mean, it's just absolutely, it's amazing in this day and age. You know, it's hard to believe, but you guys are doing a great job.
I can't thank you enough. Let me just tell the listening audience. So, how did you become involved with Gift of Life?
Well, you know, it seems like we all get involved in something, you know, because a close friend or relative has, you know, gotten sick. And my closest friend, Eddie and Susan Blumenfeld, their son was diagnosed with leukemia. And, you know, so I kind of started doing a little bit of research. And then one night they invited us to go to the Gift of Life dinner in the city.
Yeah. And
from that point on, we were hooked. I mean, it was pretty tough. I got to tell you what, my wife was bawling. So it's and I don't think there was, you know, anyone within the room that wasn't in tears. You know, when they saw the donors come back and meet the recipients. I mean, it was just a real mind-blowing experience for me.
You want to know something? I have to confess too. I was bawling. I saw Michelle at the last one. It was, you know, we both of us were crying. It turned out that two people that lived within about 3-block radius of each other never knew each other before, and one ended up being a life-saving match for the other.
Yeah, it's just, you know, and really, it's incredible to just see, you know, the tears and how thankful the people were that these people stepped up and did the right thing. So it was really an incredible event, and you know, I plan on going to the next and the next and the next.
Fantastic. And you know what? I'm proud to say to you and everybody that's listening, you know, we saved over about 2,800 lives to date, and we're going to continue to keep working.
Fabulous. No, it's fabulous. And so if we can get more people to take the swab and really be tested and find out if they are or can be a match, then, you know, we're going to be in so much better shape.
Exactly. And for those people, they could contact us, ask for Bridget at www.giftoflife.org. And Bob, I really want to thank you for coming on board, for giving, you know, me great memories as a child, and I'm going to keep you to the promise that when you're down here in Florida, we could play a round of golf and you could come in here live.
Now you're talking. Don't be practicing though, because I'm not practicing that much.
I'm a hacker, but every time that we go out, it's a good day.
Yeah, well, that's the truth. I'm just training right now to do my first Ironman, so I don't have any time for golf.
Oh God, Ironman! I feel I was an Ironman if I ran a mile. But no, keep up the good work, and I'll give you a holler in September when I come up for the walk.
You know what? That sounds great.
All right, send my love to Michelle, and again, thanks a lot for coming on the show, and I'll be speaking with you soon.
You know what? It's my pleasure, and thanks for having me.
All right, Bob, thank you. Our listening audience, that's Mr. Bobby Nystrom, Mr. Islander, and number 23.
Thanks so much, Bob, for coming on our show today. If anything that Bob said today, Bob Nystrom said on the show, that inspired you, you want to take action, you want to do something to really take that next step and help Sammy, help all those people that are looking for a match, please call 1-800-9-MARROW, ask for Joel or Anita, or you can visit us online, www.giftoflife.org/DC/the show. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and We'll come right back.
Are you in the market for a health plan? If so, please visit my good friend Gary at Health Plans Unlimited. No plan is too big or too small. Gary will customize a plan that's affordable and comprehensive, just for you. If you're interested, please visit Gary Goldman, the best in the biz, at www.healthplansunlimited.com. Again, that's www.healthplansunlimited.com. Or you can call Gary Goldman directly on his personal line at 954-303-6676. Again, that's 954-303-6676. And tell him that Gregg sent you directly from the Gift of Life. Health Plans Unlimited. We have the health plan for you. ThrowItBetter.com. Do you need help with your bowling game? Are you taking the right 5-step approach? If you want to become a competitive bowler, even a recreational bowler that's considering joining a league, or a league bowler that's considering joining a tournament, you need to see Vince. He's going to show you how to throw it better. He'll get you the right equipment, he'll show you the right approach, and as a certified coach himself, he'll put you in the best position to succeed. If you're interested, please visit Vince at throwitbetter.com and tell him that Gregg sent you. Again, that's www.throwitbetter.com. If you own a business and have the need for commercial insurance, I suggest you call Chris Moore of Brown & Brown Insurance in Fort Lauderdale. Chris has been in the commercial insurance business for over 30 years and can handle any company's need for property, general liability, workers' compensation, and automobile, just to name a few. Brown & Brown, being countrywide and the 5th largest agency in the country, gives Chris the tools he needs to meet all your insurance needs. So call Chris at 954-331-1420. Again, that's 954-331-1420. We want to extend a special thanks to our friends at the Boca West Foundation for all the wonderful work they do for Gift of Life and for all the meaningful service they give to the Boca Raton community. For over 3 years, the Boca West Foundation has generously supported local charities in the Boca Raton area. The Boca West Foundation. It's all about the kids.
Interested in being part of Mission Possible?
Dun, 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 dun.
On Saturday night, August 9th, at the Blue Martini in Boca Raton, come listen to a donor and recipient's experience and how Gift of Life truly saves lives. Don't miss the opportunity to be part of Boca Chambers Festival Days and get your photo taken with Sean Connery lookalike John Allen, Palm Beach's very own 007 Sean Connery impersonator, and savor premium libations and culinary delights in only the most covert manner. Please call Jenna at 1-800-9-MARROW. Again, please call Jenna at 1-800-9-MARROW.
Welcome back to The Gift of Life with Gregg, the show that talks about giving and receiving. I'm your co-host, Leora Lieberman, and I'm here with my host, Gregg Francis, and co-host, Barry Kaplan. If you'd like to call into our show, we'd love to hear from you. Please call 888-565-1470. Again, that's 888-565-1470. And now, back to our show.
And we're back with The Gift of Life with Gregg. My name is Barry Kaplan. Hey, it's Barry K. I want to give a big thanks to the legendary Bob Nystrom, Mr. Islander, Thor himself. He came out to the show today, graced us with his presence. We had a great interview. I thought it was great. Gregg, you had fun, didn't you?
Man, I had a blast.
And Leora, you loved it. I know you were cracking up during the entire interview.
I did. I always appreciate people who, use themselves as just to spread word about a really great cause, and he was so nice. It was like talking to someone who's in your living room, and this is someone who's so famous, and you know everyone. He's a household name to everyone, even if you don't like hockey. You know, everyone who loves hockey knows him, and it's a great thing for a great cause. So.
I think your dad was excited.
Yeah, my dad loves hockey, so
well, my
he was
friend Joel
excited.
is really excited. I know that. So I want to do a little bit of housekeeping now. Everyone who went out to the Bond event last Saturday, thanks so much for coming out. It was a great event.
Phenomenal.
But our next event, we got a very interesting event coming up. It's called a Funtastic Family Festival. It's on Saturday, September 6th. It's from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And it's on Fountain Center, 7000 West Camino Real, Boca Raton. It's on Powerline just south of Palmetto. It's $10 a ticket. Children 2 and under are free. There's a lot of different activities. Juggling. We'll have a magician. We'll have a balloon show with an actual... this is not a normal balloon...
Explain, Bear.
This is a balloon sculptor. He does large-scale balloon works.
That's so
This
cool.
is I know, like Freddie's giving me a look. I guarantee you, he's a cool guy. We also got puppet shows, face painting, arts and crafts, bounce houses, games, food, and more. You name it, we got it.
You know, in some of these events, you go and you're bored after 30 seconds or 30 minutes, an hour. I guarantee you, if you bring your children there, there's so many events to do that they're going to be, you know, excited the whole 4 hours. They're going to be engaged the whole 4 hours. And it's, the price is $10.
It's only $10, and what you can do is you can skip the line, buy online, and save some time. Visit www.giftoflife.org to purchase tickets, or you can call us at 1-800-9-MARROW or 561-982-2900. Ask for Jenna, and she'll be happy to help you out there. All activities are included with the price of admission except for food and beverages. And I have to say, this event is looking really fun.
It really is, and it's a great way to get kids involved. You know, a lot of the events that we've done so far, maybe, you know, you couldn't bring your kids to, but this is a great way to make it a family event, a family afternoon. What better way to spend the weekend than to enjoy it with your kids, and all for a great cause, so why not? And we've also have, you know, even though we're located here in South Florida, our headquarters is Boca Raton. We have events all over the country. So for our listeners in Maryland, for our listeners in New York, we get calls from all over. If you're listening, we have some great events in your areas, and I'd like to tell you about them. So in Long Island, on September 14th, we have our first walk of the year. And so if you live on the Long Island area, if you live in the Manhattan area or in the Queens area, I have a lot of friends in Bayside if you're listening. Hello, everyone in Bayside. Please come out to our Long Island walk.
Yeah, it's located right in Eisenhower Park. It's central to everywhere, so nobody has any excuses. It's right, it's in the heart of every main thoroughfare. I know that we have Freddie on the other side of the glass, knows exactly where it is. So if he could find it, you could find it.
Exactly. So if you're maybe not from the Manhattan area or the Long Island area, we also have a New Jersey walk. My home state, I'm a Jersey girl, only 3 years old, but I still consider myself a Jersey girl. So if you're from New Jersey, we have a walk on October 26th. And we also, you know, a little bit south from New Jersey, in D.C., we have a walk on November 9th. And then if you're from South Florida, if you're from the Boca Raton area, or if you're from a little bit more south than that, we also have our walk here in Florida on January 18th.
Now, these walks are great. They're 5Ks, right? They're 5Ks, and
you can walk, run.
You can walk, run. You don't. It's, you know, we're not trying to get you to pass out there. It's a fun family event. We got vendors. We got all different types of things. Go online, www.giftoflife.org. Follow the webpage to the walk page, or you can call us at 1-800-9-MARROW. Ask for Marty.
Marty or Jenna should be able to get you on your way. If you want to form a team, and we'll have a great event. So between Long Island, New Jersey, D.C., and Florida, we have a lot of listeners in all those areas. So we expect you to come out and support us. And but before we leave you all today, we want to thank our special guest, Bob Nystrom, from taking the time to speak with us and talk about his dedication to the gift of life. We also want to ask people to remember Sammy, to set up drives, and to donate. Again, 1-800-9-MARROW, or look at our website, which is www.giftoflife.org. And you know, we're doing this together to make a difference. Everybody go out there, have a great week, and God bless you all.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to The Gift of Life with Gregg. I wanted to personally say thank you to everyone who participated in today's show. And I also wanted to let you know if that you're interested in what we do here at The Gift of Life, please call 1-800-9-MARROW. That's 1-800-9-MARROW. Or you can visit our website at www.giftoflife.org. Again, that's www.giftoflife.org. Even though we're wrapping up our show today, remember, you must always unwrap the gift of life.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were